Hey everyone, and welcome back. You've been asking us to cover AI in defense, so we're finally diving into it today. Specifically, how AI is being used in NATO.
It's a really fascinating topic.
Yeah, it really is. We've got some great research and reports, and honestly, it's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, have you ever thought about decisions that used to take weeks to make?
Mm.
In like really critical military situations?
Yeah.
And now we're talking about those same decisions being made in hours or even minutes.
It's incredible how fast things are changing.
It really is. So that's what we're going to explore today.
At the heart of military strategy is this thing called the OODA Loop.
The OODA Loop.
Yeah, observe, orient, decide, act. It's this framework for making decisions, especially in those really fast-paced, high-pressure situations.
Okay. I mean, it sounds simple enough, but I'm guessing there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So think about it. Imagine a commander in a traditional battlefield setting.
Okay.
They're relying on reports coming in from all sorts of different sources, often with delays, before they can even get a clear picture of what's happening on the ground.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then they've got to analyze the situation, way different options. And finally, issue orders.
But wouldn't the situation have probably changed by then? I mean, it seems like they'd always be playing catch up.
Exactly. And that's not ideal when lives are on the line.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
So where does AI come into all of this?
AI can actually supercharge the OODA loop,
Okay.
especially the observe and orient stages, by analyzing huge amounts of data from satellites, drones, even social media. AI can provide this real-time, constantly evolving view of the battlefield.
Wow. So instead of waiting for those potentially outdated reports,
Yeah,
commanders could have an instant snapshot of what's happening right as it unfolds.
exactly. It's almost like having an AI-powered eye in the sky, seeing everything.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not just about speed either, right?
Right. AI can process and analyze data from so many sources. Like you can combine satellite imagery with social media trends and intercepted communications to create a way more comprehensive and nuanced understanding of the situation.
So it's not just about seeing more.
No.
It's about understanding more.
Yeah.
I see how this could lead to much faster and, more importantly, better decisions.
Here's an example. Let's say there's a suspected hostile force building up near a border.
Okay.
Traditionally, intelligence agencies would have to piece together information from various sources.
Like aerial reconnaissance.
Yeah, aerial reconnaissance, human intelligence, and so on.
Right.
It's a super time-consuming process with a lot of unknowns.
And probably a lot of room for error, too.
Exactly. But with AI, we can analyze satellite imagery almost instantly.
Oh, wow.
AI algorithms can detect patterns and anomalies that a human analyst might completely miss.
Okay, like what kind of things?
Things like troop movements, specific types of vehicles, even the construction of new facilities.
So instead of this blurry, incomplete picture,
Right.
AI gives you a high-definition, real-time view of
Correct.
what's actually happening. That's incredible. And then how does that translate into better decision-making?
Well, commanders can quickly figure out if they need to bolster their defenses or start some kind of diplomatic effort
Right?
or take other actions. They can act proactively instead of reacting to a crisis that's already out of control.
I'm starting to see how AI could completely revolutionize the way NATO responds to threats.
It's not just about reacting faster.
No.
It's about anticipating and preventing potential conflicts before they even have a chance to escalate.
It's a huge shift.
Yeah.
And this ability to process information so rapidly, that brings us to another big advantage of AI-enhanced situational awareness.
Definitely.
So let's break that down. What exactly do we mean by situational awareness?
Sure.
And how does AI take it to the next level?
So picture this. You've got a commander who's trying to manage multiple units across this vast and dynamic battle space.
Okay.
They're getting bombarded with information constantly, but it's often really fragmented and difficult to put all together.
Right.
AI can change all of that by creating these real-time dynamic visualizations
Oh, wow.
that integrate data from all these different sources.
So instead of trying to piece together a mental map from multiple reports and static maps,
Yeah,
they have this interactive, almost living map of the entire operational environment.
exactly. Think of a digital map that displays not only the locations of friendly forces, but also potential enemy positions. Terrain features weather patterns, even things like civilian movement patterns.
That's a lot of information all in one place.
It is.
This seems incredibly valuable, not just for strategic decisions, but also for minimizing risks, like friendly fire incidents or making sure troops are deployed in the best possible positions.
Exactly. And AI can actually go beyond just providing a clear picture of what's happening right now. AI algorithms can actually identify potential threats or opportunities that might be missed even by the most experienced human analysts.
Really? Give me an example.
Okay, so imagine AI is monitoring the feed from a surveillance drone flying over a really dense urban environment. The human analyst might be focused on identifying individual targets, but AI could be simultaneously analyzing the overall flow of traffic,
Right?
pedestrian movements, even subtle changes in the urban landscape.
Wow.
And then it could flag something like a seemingly normal building that shows an unusual pattern of activity.
Like what?
Like maybe vehicles arriving and departing at odd hours, which might suggest it could be a hidden enemy base or weapons cache.
So it's not just about seeing what's there. It's about understanding the significance of what you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where AI really comes in.
Exactly. By connecting those seemingly insignificant dots, AI can give commanders a much deeper understanding of the battle space,
Right.
which helps them anticipate potential threats and exploit opportunities that they might have otherwise missed completely.
So it's really fascinating that AI can pick up on these things, these subtle cues that humans might miss. But we were talking about AI enhancing situational awareness before.
Uh-huh.
And it's not just about knowing where things are, it's also about understanding why things are happening.
Right. It's about the why behind the what.
Exactly.
And that's where predictive analysis comes in. This is another area where AI is making huge strides.
Predictive analysis. So we're talking about not just reporting on what's happening now, but actually anticipating what might happen next.
Exactly. Imagine a commander who's planning a large-scale military operation.
Okay.
They have to consider so many
Yeah,
factors.
like what kinds of factors?
Enemy movements, weather conditions, potential civilian presence, logistical challenges. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, it sounds overwhelming.
It is. It's a huge high-stakes game.
Where one wrong move could have devastating consequences.
Exactly. AI can help by basically wargaming these different scenarios.
Okay.
By running complex simulations based on all these different inputs and variables, AI can predict the most likely outcomes of various courses of action.
So it gives commanders a way to sort of look into the future and see how things might play out.
Exactly. They can plan more effectively, anticipate challenges, and adapt their strategies.
So instead of just reacting to what the enemy does, they can be several steps ahead, ready to counter potential threats before they even materialize.
You got it. And predictive analysis isn't just about forecasting enemy actions either. It's about understanding the whole context in which a conflict is unfolding.
Well, as you're saying, warfare doesn't happen in a vacuum.
Right.
You have to take into account the political, social, and economic factors that are influencing events.
Precisely, AI can analyze all these factors too, looking for patterns and trends that humans might miss.
Like what?
Let's say AI detects a sudden spike in online chatter about a specific political issue in a region that's already tense.
Okay.
This could be an early warning sign of potential unrest, even if there's no obvious military activity.
So it's almost like having an AI advisor whispering, hey, pay attention to this seemingly unrelated event over there,
Yeah,
because it could have ripple effects that impact the situation on the ground.
exactly. By connecting those seemingly disparate dots, AI can help decision makers develop a much deeper understanding of the situation.
Leading to better decisions and maybe even preventing conflicts from escalating.
Exactly.
This is fascinating. So
Yeah.
far, we've been talking about how AI can help individual commanders make better decisions.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about the bigger picture. How is AI impacting the way NATO as a whole operates?
Well, NATO has definitely recognized the potential of AI, and they've been investing heavily in research and development to integrate it across all areas of their operations.
So it's not just about individual countries using AI within NATO.
No.
It's about the entire alliance leveraging AI to boost their collective defense capabilities.
Precisely. One of their main focuses is interoperability, making sure that AI systems from different member countries can actually talk to each other and share data.
So you don't want a situation where in the middle of critical operation, one country's AI system is speaking a different language than another's.
Exactly. You need that smooth coordination to make sure everyone's on the same page, or in this case, on the same digital platform.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. And beyond interoperability, what other things are they working on?
Well, NATO is also developing guidelines for the ethical use of AI in defense.
Right, because there are a lot of ethical questions that come with this technology.
Absolutely. It's about making sure that AI is used responsibly and doesn't lead to unintended consequences.
Yeah, we touched on some of the potential ethical challenges earlier.
Yeah.
And it seems like those are really important conversations to have as AI plays a bigger role in warfare.
Right.
It's a reminder that technology is only as good as the people who use it.
That's such a key point. AI is forcing us to rethink how we think about defense and security in ways we never have before.
It's exciting,
It is.
but also a little daunting.
Yeah, for sure. So speaking of daunting, let's shift gears a bit and talk about some of the challenges.
Okay.
What are some of the hurdles that need to be overcome to really unlock AI's full potential in defense?
All ears.
Well, one of the biggest challenges is data AI algorithms are only as good as the data they're trained on.
Right.
And in the military world, that data can be messy, incomplete, or even deliberately misleading.
Because of enemy disinformation campaigns and things like that.
Exactly. So it's not just about having a lot of data.
It's about having the right data.
Yes. Accurate, reliable data that reflects the real world.
And on top of that, are there technological limitations as well?
Oh, absolutely. AI is powerful, but it's not magic.
So there are still areas where human expertise and judgment are really important.
For sure. Think about things like understanding complex social and cultural dynamics in a conflict zone,
Right.
or interpreting those subtle cues in human behavior. These are things that humans are still much better at.
It seems like it's all about finding the right balance
Yeah,
between human and machine intelligence.
exactly. Leveraging the strengths of each to create a more effective defense system. I couldn't agree more.
And what about staying ahead of the curve?
That's another huge challenge. AI is evolving so quickly.
So what's cutting edge today might be obsolete tomorrow.
Exactly. There's this constant need to invest in research and development to make sure that NATO stays ahead.
So it's a technological challenge, but also a budgetary challenge.
Definitely. Developing and deploying advanced AI systems is expensive. And then there's the human element, too.
What do you mean?
Attracting and retaining top talent in AI is a constant battle. The competition for skilled engineers and data scientists is fierce.
Because the private sector often offers more money
Exactly. So the defense sector needs to find ways to attract the best and brightest.
and encourage innovation.
Exactly.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the people who build, maintain, and operate these systems.
You got it.
Sounds like NATO has a lot on their plate,
They do, but the potential benefits of AI are just too big to ignore.
especially when it comes to global security.
Absolutely.
We've talked a lot about how AI is changing the way commanders make decisions.
Right.
But what about the soldiers on the ground? How are they adapting to this new era of AI-driven warfare?
That's a great question. In all the excitement about AI, the human element often gets overlooked.
Yeah, that's true.
But the reality is that AI is changing the nature of warfare.
And that requires soldiers to change their mindset too.
Exactly. They need to be comfortable working alongside AI systems.
Right. Understanding their capabilities and limitations.
Exactly. They have to trust the information these systems provide, but also be able to question it when necessary.
That's a tough balance.
It is. You don't want blind faith in technology, but you also don't want to dismiss its potential.
So how does this shift in mindset actually play out in the real world?
Training is key. And it's not just about teaching soldiers how to operate the AI systems.
It's about teaching them how to think critically.
Exactly. How to adapt and make ethical decisions.
So it's not just about making them better warriors.
No.
It's about making them better thinkers and decision makers.
Exactly. And in this age of AI-driven warfare, those skills are more important than ever.
This has been really eye-opening. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this whole topic.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more to explore.
And I'm sure we'll be delving deeper into AI and defense in future deep dives.
Definitely.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. And listeners, I hope you've enjoyed this conversation as much as I have.
You know, before we wrap up, I think it's important to remember that AI in defense, it's not just about the battlefield.
Right. It goes way beyond that.
Exactly. It's changing everyone's roles and responsibilities.
Like who?
From the analysts and engineers working behind the scenes to the policymakers shaping defense strategies and even the general public.
That's a great point. We've talked a lot about the tactical and strategic implications, but let's zoom out a bit
Okay?
and look at those broader impacts. So for starters, how is AI changing things for the people developing and maintaining these systems?
Well, for the engineers and programmers, it's this constant race to keep up. They need to be experts in complex algorithms, machine learning, data science.
Right.
But they also need to understand the specific demands of a military setting.
Because it's a very unique environment.
Exactly. The challenges of operating in a combat zone where reliability is absolutely crucial.
So it's not just about building a cool app.
No, not at all.
It's about building something that works perfectly under intense pressure in life or death situations.
Oh, exactly. And for analysts who are using AI to interpret data and inform decision-making,
Yeah.
AI can be a powerful tool, but it can also be disruptive.
How so?
Well, AI can automate a lot of those routine tasks they used to handle,
Like what kinds of tests?
like sifting through tons of data to identify patterns.
Okay, so that frees them up to focus on the bigger picture.
Exactly. But it also means they need to develop new skills. They're becoming less like data crunchers and more like interpreters of AI output.
Interesting.
They need to be able to explain AI's findings to decision makers.
In a way that humans can understand.
Exactly. And they also need to be able to critically assess the reliability of the AI's conclusions.
So it's almost like they're becoming AI whisperers.
Yeah, I like that.
Translating the language of machines into something humans can understand.
Exactly. And then, of course, there are the policymakers who have to figure out the rules for how AI is used in defense.
Right, they're facing some really tough questions.
Yeah, they are.
Like what? What are some of the big ones?
Well, a lot of them center around using AI responsibly and ethically. Like, how do we prevent unintended consequences? How do we prevent AI from escalating a conflict?
Or making life or death decisions without any human oversight.
Exactly. And how do we make sure AI algorithms aren't biased?
Right, because bias could lead to some really bad outcomes.
Absolutely. These are tough questions with no easy answer.
And it's not just governments and militaries that need to be involved in this conversation.
Right.
The public needs to be involved too.
Absolutely. We need to have open discussions about the implications of AI in defense.
And demand transparency and accountability.
Exactly. It's a reminder that technology is shaped by our values, our political decisions, and public perception.
It sounds like AI is forcing us to confront some really fundamental questions about warfare and the future of humanity.
It is. As AI keeps evolving, we need to engage in these conversations. We need to think deeply about what this technology means for society.
It feels like we're at a crossroads.
I think we are. AI has the potential to revolutionize defense and make the world safer.
But it also comes with risks.
It does. If it's not developed and used responsibly, it could be dangerous.
This has been an incredibly thought-provoking deep dive.
It has.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights.
It's been a pleasure.
And listeners, I hope you found this exploration as fascinating as we have.
I hope so.
We've covered a lot of ground today, but this is really just the beginning. The world of AI and defense is constantly evolving.
It is.
We'll be revisiting this topic in future deep dives as new developments emerge. But for now, I want to leave you with this. As AI becomes more powerful, it's not just about what it can do, but what we choose to do with it. The future is shaped by the decisions we make today. So let's